Yo, what's going on, people? This is Shok, and I know I'm super late with this video, but people have still been asking me to do it, so here it is. Hopefully there's still some of you out there who value my opinion, who, this video could actually help at this point, because it's kind of March. This game came out on December 7th, so I figure most people kind of got this information, but just in case you didn't, hey, here's my take on it. But a lot of people have entered competitive Smash with Ultimate, more so than any other previous Smash title. So a lot of people are concerned and questioning which characters they should be playing out the gate as newcomers to the series. As newcomers, if you're already an experienced Smash player, you know this video isn't for you, whatever, you probably already know the deal. You probably have multiple characters you're super solid on, so this is really just for people who are getting into competitive Smash for the first time. And so there's 75 characters on this roster, so I'm not going to get too in-depth with everybody. That would just take way too long. So what I'm going to do real quick, instead of telling you all the characters that are yes and no's for me, I'm just say the yeses, and then anyone I don't yes is like a no, unless I explicitly state this character so-so is like okay for newcomers, but there's an exception here, here, and here type deal. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's get into it. So obviously Mario, he's the Ryu, right? The Scorpion, the Batman, Superman. You guys already know the deal. He's just kind of bare bones, not that intricate, very simple, straightforward Smash character. If you're playing Mario, you're playing just base Smash. You're playing core Smash at its rawest form, basically. The Links and the Samuses. Excuse me, absolutely. Because they're more zoning-oriented characters, that doesn't mean that they're bad picks for newcomers. That's a really bad stigma that I've seen a couple people say before. Like, oh no, you shouldn't play a zoner. Like, zoning's a legitimate play style. There's, base Smash. There's like rushdown Smash, right? And then there's like zoning Smash as well. They're all legitimate play styles within this game. So because these characters are a bit more passive and they zone, that doesn't mean that they're not good for newcomers. They can't teach you how to play Smash. You know what I mean? Kirby, yes, although he's not that great. Fox, I would say is okay. Falcon is a good one, I feel like. Bowser is good. Dr. Mario, Martha, Lucina are great beginner characters for sure. Lucina, of course, more to a further extent, since you don't really have to space with her like that. Young Link, yes. Ganon, but he's not very good. Roy, I'll say yes on. Chrom, not so much, just because his recovery game could be hard for newcomers to figure out. So if you're interested in Roy or Chrom, I would say if you're a newcomer, definitely go for Roy. Yes, Roy doesn't have, an even hitbox throughout his sword, while Chrom does. So technically, Chrom's way easier to play on stage. But if you're brand new to competitive Smash and you're not great at recovering, then I would say definitely go for Roy. Now, if you feel like you have the recovery game down, you understand it, you know how to save your double jump, you understand that these characters have insane aerial drift, right? And you know how to use your directional air dodge once you get launched off stage, by all means use Chrom. But I figure if you're a beginner, you really haven't mastered all that yet. You know what I mean? The pits, I feel like right here, the pits are probably, outside of Mario, the best characters to play as newcomers. Because they're basically Mario if Mario wasn't boring as hell. And if they had like a little bit more, like intricacies, you know what I mean? A little bit more nuance to them to make them slightly more interesting to play. You know what I mean? But just very standard, straightforward characters. Nothing is too weird with them. Nothing is too complex. But there's a little bit of nuance there for you. Once you learn the game, there's still some more to explore with your character. Whereas Mario, you kind of have what you get out the gate. There's really no exploration to do with this character. You know what I mean? Nope to all of these three. And I'll probably get to a couple characters that I would say you really shouldn't be playing this game at all once I'm done. Pokemon Trainer, you have to learn 3 characters at once. I would definitely not recommend doing that. I feel like it's a pretty okay fundamental character, but I have my reservations about him due to his Nair. I feel like a lot of newcomers and newbies can get caught up in just trying to spam Nair like they see top players do. And when that happens is that when you go up against an experienced player who knows that's what you want to do, they're going to know how to deal with it, and you won't know how to basically adapt to their adaptation, right? Because that's all you tried to go for, right? You didn't explore the rest of the moveset. You didn't try to learn icons in his entirety. You just tried it there. So there's certain characters where they're not necessarily non-fundamental, but they have some either like really jank or like just really stupid easy attributes about them that can get you caught up and not really learning the game. You know what I mean? And I'll get to a couple other characters like that as well. Let me see here. I don't think any of these characters on this row yeah, none of these characters on this entire 4th row I could recommend for newcomers at all. I would say probably the most accessible and easiest to play would probably, at a low level anyways, would probably be, oh, well, Toon Link's fine. Toon Link's fine. Lucario's okay. And I guess Lucas. The others I can't really recommend. Not that all of them are non-fundamental. You know, you could play all of them are pretty fundamentally, and especially Wolf. Wolf is like just all fundamentals. But like things with Wolf, for instance, you know, really slow frame data on some of his moves, you know, so a newcomer can have trouble, you know, timing those moves, and, you know, newcomers like to press a lot of buttons and shit, and Wolf's not really that type of character. Also, his recovery is like a normal recovery, you know, it's like a melee recovery in this game, so that's another reason why I really want to recommend him. But going back to the characters I would recommend, though, let me see here. This row is a little shoddy as well. I think Cloud and Corrin, though, are definitely great fundamental-based characters. There's really nothing strange or janky about them except Corrin side B. I think Corrin side B is a little silly, but it's not like, yo, what the hell is that? You know, what's this character doing? It's not a move that's going to, like, carry you or anything like that. You know what I mean? So Cloud and Corrin, I feel like very solid, fundamental, straightforward characters. When I'm playing against these characters, right, I feel like I'm playing the same game as my opponent. You know what I mean? It's not an instance where like I'm fighting a villager and he's playing Call of Duty and I'm playing Smash Brothers. You know what I mean? For instance, Bayonetta, absolutely not. And on the bottom row here, I think Ridley is fine. I think just Ridley, really. The rest of these characters are either too hard to play, at least at a high level. Honestly, I think the Belmonts are probably hard to play at a low level as well, because you can't recover with these two if you're not already experienced at Smash. But yeah, I would say just Ridley on this bottom row. So let me go back and talk about particular characters that you guys may be like, oh, really? Zelda is easy. She is. But she's too easy. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why I would recommend people to not play Zelda is because you just get caught up in this button right here. The B button. That's all you'll want to do. So again, I mean, if you're coming from another fighting game, some of these characters might be fine because you're already experienced and you know how to not get wrapped up into a character's polarization. I guess you could say they're really polarizing moves, you know what I mean? But if you're not already an experienced fighting game player and, you know, you're getting into Smash for the first time with Ultimate and you're trying to look for a character that will teach you the game, I wouldn't recommend Zelda because she has things like, you know, all of her B buttons, the Phantom, the Dense Fire, and the Nehru's Love, the Neutral B spin. That just kind of, you know, it kind of just makes you circumvent having to normally interact in the game as opposed to most characters, you know what I mean? Like, oh, if you're in trouble, you'll know what to do, you'll know what side your opponent's going to be on. Like, oh, just smash B and, you know, get that neutral B out. You know what I mean? Things like that. She just teaches you panic options. And she teaches you like really, really lame play. And the problem with that is that, and Zelda's not like an amazing character by any means. Like, she's okay. She's like mid-tier or whatever, right? But her kit can seem really super strong at low levels. But once you run into someone who knows what they're doing, they know how to fight against Zelda, you're not going to know what to do because this whole time you've just kind of been B-butting people to death. But once people are getting around your B moves, you're like, oh, what do? I haven't practiced her normals or her aerials at all. You see what I mean? 99% of the Zeldas I played online don't even use her aerials. They don't even use lightning kicks or her up air or anything, right? It's crazy. But moving on from her, because I spent way too much time on her. Ice climbers. Absolutely not. Having to deal with an AI as part of your character is a really bad thing to go for as a new player. I wouldn't recommend them at all. And also, ices are only effective once you actually learn how to desync them. And I'm sure some of you guys don't even know what desyncing means. So yeah, just kind of avoid them like the plague. Ness is kind of in the same category as Zelda, where he is a very easy and accessible character. but I would recommend not using him just because you can get caught up in the PK fire business. You know what I mean? You can just get caught up in the really easy dump stuff that Ness can do, and it can be hard to, not use those things as a crutch, and it can be hard to detach yourself from that once you get to slightly higher levels of play. You know what I mean? Snake is a really popular character because, you know, he's freaking Solid Snake from the Metal Gear series, right? And he's in Smash. Like, everyone wants to play him, of course. You know, Low Tier God is playing this character right now, and like I've told him, and like other people have told him in the streams, this is not a good character for beginners at all, because Snake does not play Smash. He doesn't. Snake plays Snake. When you're playing Snake, you are not playing Smash Brothers. You're just not. He just teaches you to pull grenades, shield, run, pull grenades, shield, run. I'm not saying, of course, that's all Snake does, but I'm saying, you know, just the bread and butter of Snake is kind of generally that, and it's just not good for developing good, solid Smash fundamentals. Now, once you get better at the game, yeah, sure, by all means, you know, play Snake. But if you're coming out the gate and you're like, oh man, I'm a Metal Gear fan or something, and I want to play Smash, I'm going to play Snake because I love Metal Gear. Highly recommend against playing a character like Snake. Highly. ZSS was really good and 4, but she's like way hard to play in this game. I think ZSS is low-key a very fucking good character in this game, but it just takes a lot of skill to you know, unlock her efficacy, I guess you could say. Zero Suit's really hard. I would definitely say don't use her at all. All of them are kind of the same reasons that I listed for like Zelda and Ness. It's nothing he has is really hard or difficult, but you could just kind of get caught up and get too comfortable with running away and throwing Pikmin. But then when someone knows how to deal with that, the going gets rough and you'll know what to do because this whole time you haven't been very interactive. So you see, there's kind of a reoccurring theme here, if you haven't noticed, where I'm recommending you play characters that can normally interact with everyone else, right? Characters that aren't going to have you just doing one thing the entire time, you know, while your opponent's trying to play Smash with you, you know, and you're playing a completely different game. You know what I mean? Going up to Sheik here, Sheik's kind of the same reason for Zero Suit, except Sheik is a worse character than Zero Suit. Sheik is really hard to play in this game, and she can't kill. And as a newcomer, you definitely don't want to play a character that cannot kill. That's just not going to work for you. King Dedede, the same boat as Zelda and Ness. All King Dedede teaches you to do is just Gordo. And like, that's it. All he teaches you to do is Gordo and just throw out moves that should be punishable but are not. And yeah, and you know, the whole, you know, multi jumps and, you know, just kind of running away, not playing neutral and Gordoing. I just don't. If you want to get good at this game in the long run, do not play characters like Dedede, Zelda, Ness. Just don't do them. They're really bad newcomer characters. Absolutely. Sonic. The thing about Sonic is that since he has the spin dash where you can like travel across the stage and all that, you know what I mean? It can really prevent you from learning a true, real neutral. You know what I mean? Because at lower levels of play, when you just spin dash, like that's, you know, that's just Sonic doing the neutral for you. And especially online, people aren't going to be able to deal with that. They're not going to be able to react to it on time. You know, it's just, he's just a bit way too easy and accessible to get in on your opponent with at low levels of play. You know what I mean? Like the character, like I said, the character just kind of does the neutral for you once you input a B button. He even has a homing attack, so it's like he has a button you can literally press that you can't miss and has some good range to it. You know what I mean? So definitely a crutch character for players for sure. I would definitely not recommend playing Sonic until you actually learn the game for sure. Lucas is kind of like Ness, but definitely to a lesser extent. Rob could be fairly non-friendly for newcomers, I feel like. Rob is a crazy character. I believe Rob is top tier. I think he's absolutely a top 10 character, hands down. But with that being said, I don't think he's accessible for low-level play at all. Villager, you know, and same goes for Isabelle. Kind of the same things as, you know, other ones. I know I said I don't mind the Samuses. I think Samuses and Link, and all the Links really are fine. But I think Villager and Isabelle are like just way too passive. You know, they're way more passive than these characters. So they just, again, they kind of force you to play a certain play style that just makes you skip out on half the game. You know what I mean? You can't learn to play neutral if you're going to be playing the character where the whole time you're just trying to lame your you know, opponent out, and you're not really trying to go in for melee stuff, and you don't really have combos like that, you know what I mean? Same goes for Mega Man. Wii Fit is very strange and hard to play. Do not play this character at all. Avoid it like the plague. Little Mac is booty. Do not play Little Mac. He is trash. Rosaline is a bit weird. Wouldn't play her. Pac-Man super jank. Greninja's pretty technical. He could be hard to play. I wouldn't recommend him at all for high level play. Palutena, I would say, is okay. Pac-Man's kind of the same thing as, you know, Villager, Mega Man. And also Rob, because, you know, Pac-Man's kind of hard to play at higher levels, so definitely wouldn't recommend him. Bowser Jr. is just an awful character. Just don't play him. Outside of that, he's not hard to play. He's pretty accessible. If you just like Bowser Jr. and you want to play him, by all means, be my guess. Just know he's an awful character. You definitely want to play a mid-tier. You know what I mean? So that way you can at least play the full game. Ryu and Ken just way too weird. The Mii's are just way too janky, and just their moves are just stupid. Like, they just have really stupid things that can teach you bad habits. You know, kind of the same matter of Dedede, you know, in Zelda. Just stupid moves that ingrain bad habits into you. You know, things like, instead of, you know, getting out of this situation in a universal way, you know, your character has this one thing that instantly gets them out neutral B, right? And so when that's not working for you, or if you want to play a different character, then you don't know what to do because you haven't been able to practice that. You know what I mean? And like I said, bottom row here, the Belmonts, I would say, are just like way too hard at lower levels, the lowest levels of play. Well, actually, they might be easier. That might be the opposite way. That might be the other way around. They might be easier at lower levels of play because people don't know how to deal with the projectiles and whatnot. They might be harder the higher up you go, actually. So I take that back. But I still want to recommend them because they are kind of, I would say, a point farther than the Links and the Samuses, where they're a little bit too passive. At least that's how you will be playing them at lower levels, so I wouldn't recommend them. K. Rool just teaches you to do stupid, janky shit. I already talked about Isabelle. Incineroar. Incineroar is a fundamental character, but again, just like Zelda, Dedede, he has that one move that can, like, just kind of distract you from just, you know, using the rest of his moveset. A lot of his low level Incineroars, right, they just go for the side B. They just fish for the side B and stuff like that. They spam revenge when they shouldn't be, you know, and they get punished for it. So this is a fundamental character. You can play him very fundamentally. He's a pretty straightforward character, but he does have certain attributes about him that can distract you and ingrain bad habits into your gameplay, you know what I mean? So if you're vigilant, if you're conscious of what you do, if you're self-aware, by all means, you can play a character like, you know, Incineroar, and what's another one I said? You know, Ike is another one, but you just have to look out for what you're doing, you know what I mean? Piranha Plant, he's just really weird. Not really a good character for learning Smash at all. And I already talked about the Mii's. So that's pretty much my rundown on the entire roster and who you guys think you should be playing. Who I think you guys should be playing. Let me turn that music a bit. So just to reiterate, Mario, Link, the Samuses, Kirby, Falcon, Fox is okay. I think Roy is good. I don't think Chrom is that great for newcomers at all. The Pits, I feel like, are the best for newcomers. Mark and Lucina would probably be amongst, like, the second best, excluding Mario. This is all excluding Mario, by the way, because of course Mario would be the best. Falco's good. You know, the characters you want to avoid: ZSS, Bayonetta. Oh, Inkling is an okay one as well. You just have to watch out for not getting caught up in the roller, because I see most low-level Inklings, right? They just rely on the roller to get kills. But if someone doesn't get hit by the roller, then the Inkling doesn't know how to get kills. You know what I mean? So outside of the roller, I would say Inkling is a perfectly fine character to learn the game with. I think Cloud and Corrin are also amongst the best characters to play. And I mean, outside of that, the other characters you generally want to avoid until you get to higher levels. So that pretty much wraps up this video, guys. I know it wasn't like fancy editing and stuff like that. Didn't really have the time to do it. And as a matter of fact, I need to go live because it's already past 7. I didn't mean for this to be that long. But I will be on Twitch, guys, once this video is up and live. Twitch.tv/Shokio. I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing. Maybe I'll start with Smash, but I kind of feel like playing a variety of games. So just let me know once you guys come to the Twitch chat what you guys want to see. But those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know if you disagree or if you agree. For those of you who are other experienced Smash players, leave me your thoughts down below. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.